Hi, you guys. I'm back, and I am back to do a reading on the RV. So that was one of the requests that I got when I did my last reading for the Halloween energy, was to look into the RV and see what's going on with the reevaluation of currency and the monies and, all of that stuff. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to check into the money, and I just want to say this, okay, so, sorry, you guys, that sometimes I have too much on my mind, right? So I just want to say this, I have absolutely no doubt that there's a new financial system. You guys all know that. You know I feel that way. And you know why I feel that way? Because we keep getting it in the cards. We keep getting it. And I got it in the cards before I even started asking about it. And I also get it in the cards from time to time now when I'm doing just like a check-in on what can we expect, to happen. And I was just doing a reading a couple weeks back, honestly, and I didn't post this, so I have a confession to make. So I was doing a reading a couple weeks ago, and must have been a couple weeks ago. I remember wanting to know, I wanted some guidance from the universe, tell us, we're in the last couple of weeks of October. I remember saying that. Give us some guidance. And I wanted to talk about money. That's what I was getting for cards. Money, money, money. And so I said to my highest self and to my guides and my team, I said, I'm not going to post that video. I'm not posting that video. I don't just want to talk about money all the time because there's so much to this whole movement that is so important. And I think sometimes it's easy to lose sight, especially right now. Sometimes it's really easy to lose sight of what this is all about. And I know we've kind of all been through it and we're all waiting for this end game, and we're tired of knowing the things that we know and not seeing enough physical proof of this or that or any of the numerous things that we want to see physical proof of. We want to see it. So I don't know, and there's just a lot of talk about the money, and I just didn't want to post it. I was just being kind of snarky with the universe and saying, I'm in control of my life here, and I'm not going to post another damn reading about money. Just didn't want to do it. But then I got a request to look into what's going on. And so I will. I'll do that. But I just want us to all remember that there's a lot going on outside of money that's so important. It's our liberation. It's liberation for the planet, And I know that money is so important because with it, we can do a lot of good things. But I also worry that with us constantly looking at it, things get shifted and shifted and shifted. So I don't know. I'm feeling like I got to feel into this. I'm worried about us looking at it too often and shifting it. Keep saying it's right there. Last time I did the reading on October, I think, I was just like, give us some insight into October, I think, and the universe just wanted to talk money. And God, the way it was presenting, I would have thought this all would have happened in October. But since then, I have heard that some things have happened regarding that system that now we're all plugged in and ready to go, which I got to tell you guys, I have felt like we were anyway. I felt like we are. I don't know. When are we gonna get some news that we can like see solid proof of, right? That everybody is able to see. I don't know. I don't know. So right now, let's ask the universe. Tell us the story around the money. I want to know are we going to see this RV come into fruition this month? Now, we know that some things have to happen. There can't be any war. There can't be all of these things. Like, we've got to all be at a place of peace. And there's crap going on, whether it's real or pretend, or some of it's real and some of it's pretend. Who knows? I believe there's real stuff going on over there in Ukraine. Yeah, I believe it to be real. Even though some would tell you it's all fake. All of it's fake. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. So, there's unrest happening. And now look at what's going on in Brazil. So, I don't know, you guys. I don't know. Let's take a look. I want to ask, are we going to see... Are we going to see the quantum financial system? Because that, I think, is basically as close to what we all understand it's going to be called. Nasara Gasara, the RV, quantum financial system. The universe knows what it is that I'm talking about. We're going to see this happen this month. Should I ask if it's going to happen this month? I mean, I hate asking for time frames, you guys, because Spirit doesn't know what the heck that means. Their time is so different than ours. But let's just see what happens. Let's see what the universe wants to say about our financial system and this new system that's coming in. Okay? Let's check it out. It's being held on to. It's being held on to. There's secrets, things that we don't know, stuff taking place, things we don't know about. Yeah, okay, so it's not going to come out right now. It's being held on to. It's a strategy. One of the arts of WAR, I guess. It's a strategy. It's being held on to. And they're doing that strategically. Because when you come across from that, there's all of these things that still have to be taken care of. Nefarious things that our leaders, the good guys are trying to clean up. Well, working to clean up. That's being worked on to get cleaned up. And, this is my Mr. T card because he's fiery. All right, he's a leader and he's fiery. So the other thing that I just want to mention about that is I don't think they wouldn't want to give that credit to BIDEN. Right? So it seems to me that that's not going to happen until he's not sitting where he's sitting. It feels that way. So, anyway, what's driving this entire reading is the Page of Swords. So that is technology. That's the airways, right? And that makes sense because our quantum system is it's you know, I'm losing my I'm losing my words, you guys. The quantum system comes through the air because it's like it's a it's a technology, right? It's an advanced technology. So what's driving this whole reading is the Page of Swords, and like that's information coming through. They've got to finish ending everything else. We just have to surrender to that and hang strong, and hang strong. So it doesn't look like, as it stands right now, we're going to see it in the month of November. But we got to hang strong. They're holding on to it as a strategy, because there's icky things that are being cleaned up. So we've got to hang strong. We've got to hang strong. Strength. So off of the Strength card, let's ask... No, I'm not going to ask off the Strength card. We already know we're strong. We don't need to ask anything there. We are strong. We're incredibly strong. Look at what we've been through together, you know? Yeah. So we humans are strong. Okay, so let's go off of this holding on to as a strategy. I'm going to take those two cards, and I want to ask, will we soon, sometime before 2023, as the energy stands right now, before what we consider the year 2023, will we see this QFS, the reevaluation? Will we see the Will we see the reevaluation of currency be done? Will we see silver skyrocket? Will we see fair money systems take place? Will we see all of the good stuff? Right now we're seeing the fall of things, right? So will we see all of the good stuff between now and 2023, the beginning of 2023? I want to know. Because, geez, meanwhile, people are suffering. Like, we're coming into winter and they're threatening people with not enough fuel, and the prices of fuel are like sky high, and ordinary real people are suffering. And we've been seeing this right straight through, the suffering. So if that could be implemented in a hurry, if things could just start like turning around, suffering could stop. How much suffering does the human race need to endure anyway? So, okay. So I'm asking off of those two cards if we're going to see this system come into place before 2023. Well, we're all hyper-focused on it. A lot of focusing. Hyper-focused on it. So, look at this. I mean, this is the journey we got first. He's hyper-focusing on the journey. This is our earthly pleasures, our money. He's holding that, hyper-focused on it. So it's a big piece of our journey. It's a big piece of what's changing. And it is being hyper-focused on by all of us. And I honestly believe by the people in the background, right? The good guys and the bad guys are hyper-focusing on this money situation, right? We're going to get a little victory, a small victory in 4. So emerging of in 4. So 4 weeks, 4 days, 4 months. It's November, December, January, February, March. In March, that would be 4 months. Right now it's being hyper-focused on. And the wands and the celebration, this is like a merging. So we may see some merging of systems happening, which is a victory. It's being hyper-focused on, you guys. It's not going to happen right off the bat. Some things, all of this nasty stuff has to end. So I would say, you know, what's going on over there in Ukraine has to end. What's happening in Brazil has to end. You know, what's happening here in the U.S. needs to end. We're not in the midst of a WAR, supposedly, like, you know, we're not seeing the type of stuff that other countries are seeing. But we have someone sitting publicly in a place of power that is an idiot. And that's got to end. Sorry, you guys. That's like, he is an idiot. I mean, it's so hard to watch this movie. But, yeah, it's being hyper-focused on. And like, this card is like emerging. So I'm wondering if we're going to be seeing something positive in the next 4. So this, with wands, they're fast-moving. So 4 seconds, 4 days, 4 seconds, 4 hours, 4 minutes, 4 days, 4 weeks, 4 months. It's never going to be years with these wands, right? I know that's a lot of like options, but energy is constantly in shift, right? But know that it's being like super focused on, and it is, I guess, you know, it is a huge piece of this journey, this reset, this reevaluation of our assets. It's just a huge piece of this journey. And I mean, it makes sense that it would be, doesn't it? It really does. I mean, we've been enslaved and pillaged the world over. So it would make sense that this would be a huge piece of this journey and journeying into freedom. Because think of what we can do with that. So much more. So, it looks like a little victory in 4. I'm going to ask off of all the slimy things, before I close this reading out. This is a good thing. This is a good card to shift gears with and just ask a question really quick. So I want to ask off of all the slimy things that we see. I want to know, is most of this cleaned up? And is most of this cleaned up already? Because sometimes I think we're just watching and being told about old stuff that happened a long time ago, but it's just to put it in people's consciousness. Like there's, I don't know if I should say it, but there's footage going around, I'm just going to say Bill and Melinda, okay? And saying that they are facing some things in India. And I feel like they already did years ago. Years ago, I feel like that happened. And they haven't looked the same ever since. You know, she's pretty manly looking now. She doesn't look at all like she once did. And he doesn't either. So I can't help, like last night I was having this conversation with my boyfriend. I'm like, what are they doing? Just like bringing old stuff into the consciousness so that for the people that haven't understood that this has been going on for the last decade or 20 years or 30 years or whatever, for people that are just starting to find their way into the, waking up to all of this ugly stuff. So I want to know how much of this that we're seeing right now is actually physically real and happening right now. So I feel like a lot of it already did. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So how much of the icky stuff is truly happening right now, present day? There's a lot of fakery, trickery, things under the surface. Present day. So we're hearing about things that it's designed to rile people up emotionally. Because people haven't looked for a long time. So it's got to come back up to the surface and kind of be in people's faces because they weren't looking. Because a lot of people weren't looking, they didn't see, they didn't know. It wasn't in their consciousness, they didn't know, right? So it is. A lot of this stuff that's supposedly taking place right now is just coming up to rile up emotions, you guys. Yeah. It's just come back around with this Wheel of Fortune. And it's to rile people up, to wake people up. So a lot of this stuff that we're hearing about right now, like, the Bill and Melinda thing, for instance. This is stuff that already happened. But this stuff all has to kind of come back up and get into people's consciousness and get people talking about it again so that other people that didn't have an awareness of it, it will come into their consciousness. It is what it is. So right now we've got to be really discerning because we're seeing things that already happened or we're seeing things that haven't happened. You know what I mean? So we have to be really discerning. So not everything that we're seeing as happening now is actually happening now in present day. This stuff is coming up from the surface again to rile up and stir up emotions because people didn't know about it originally. And so, the Wheel of Fortune has brought that back around on these guys. Time so that consciousness can uplift. Okay, so I've been wondering that. So having heard that, okay, and having heard all of this, that it's a strategy and that they're waiting to do this strategically, I would say it's all in place, you guys. We just have to finish the show. The show is awful. So I'm going to ask, right now I'm going to close out because I'm at 23:31. And I'm going to ask this one last question. And I want to know, just tell us, is our financial system the truth of our financial system? The truth of it, not the illusion of it or what we're seeing or what's being done to it, or what it looks like is being done to it. But is the truth of our financial system good? Is it good? Is the truth of our financial system good? Because there's a lot of talk about it, yeah, so... Is the truth of our financial system good? We get the High Priestess, and we get Judgment. So the truth of our financial system is that it was both. It was it had a lot of ability to do dark things with it, and it's being judged. It's being judged to create the balance. So that's the truth about our financial system. There was a lot of dark abilities with it. It's being judged to create the balance. So that is the truth about our financial system. So one last question is, can we expect good things right around the corner? Can we expect good things and celebrations around our financial system here shortly? Can we expect that? Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, you guys. So a lot of what we're seeing right now, a lot of the stuff that we're seeing right now, a lot of this icky stuff that we're seeing right now, it has already happened. Meant to create emotions and meant to rattle people emotionally. Because a lot of the things, when they were happening originally, people didn't know. They weren't looking at them. They didn't see it. So with the Wheel of Fortune, it had to come back around and had to come back out, get talked about again, get seen again, rotate again to wake people up, okay? Had to happen that way. As far as our financial system and the RV, they're holding on to it, you guys. It's a strategy. It's a strategy. So they're holding on to that. It is being amazingly hyper focused on. That's a big piece of this journey moving forward, is the money, and it's being super hyper focused on. And we are going to have some sort of emerge that's going to create a celebration in this area in 4. Could be, like I said, these are wands, they're fast moving. So anything from 4 seconds to 4 months. Okay, you guys? So it will be some sort of emerging and some sort of a celebration around that. So then, I asked, please tell me the truth about our money system, like as it stands right now. Our money system as it stands right now, this one that we're watching crash, right? The one that we're watching kind of fall to pieces. There's a lot of room for darkness in that system, and it is being judged, and it has to be, in order to create some balance. And then I asked, what did I say? Something I asked in regards to, are we going to see this turn around? This system, are we going to see our money system turn around and be good again? Are we going to see the goodness? Are we going to start, climbing out of this icky place that we're in? And I got the World. Yeah, you bet your ass we're going to. This is a higher arcana card. I mean, this is like karmic. Okay, you guys? It's karmic. It's karmic. We're at the end of this cycle. It's karmic. We've been pillaged and used and abused and enslaved and mistreated, we the ordinary people, for way too long. We're at the end of this cycle. Yes, good stuff is coming. We've been beaten up, but this is a 9. We're at the end of the cycle. One more card. A lot of work going into this to write it. This is a workhorse. A lot of work is going into this. So we've just got to trust you guys, and we've got to be patient. And we have to keep projecting the good things, and believe in the good things. We have to believe the good things, and we don't want to check in on it too much, because I honestly believe when we are focusing too much on one thing, we're shifting it to the not the good, because you wouldn't be constantly looking in if it wasn't without anxiety. Do you know what I'm saying? So like when it comes to money, it makes the world go round, right? It's how we stay warm, fed, and dry, basically. So when we're constantly saying, when's it going to happen? When's this explosion of wealth going to happen? We're doing that from a place of fear, usually fear or lack, anxiety. And those are vibrations that will hold things up. It's kind of like when we're manifesting, we have to set it and forget it. We really do. We have to set it and forget it and trust. So, I do believe that we do have to like move forward. We have to move with manifesting, right? So we have to have that thought, that idea, that belief, think it, speak it, say it, put it out there. And in a lot of cases, we have to move to create it. And we'll find that we're lining up and we're getting all the synchronicities and stuff. Like say you wanted to start your own business. You've got that out there, but you actually have to do some work. No one's just gonna, as a rule, it could happen, I guess. It could happen. I'm not going to be negative. But as a rule, people just don't knock on the door and say, hey, we're going to give you $100,000 to start your own business. Boom, there you go. It doesn't usually happen that way. Usually we have to do some of the work, right? So, but then there are those instances where you can't do the work to get something to happen because it's universal, it's karmic. And we ordinary people probably can't do anything within our own life to create this coming into being any faster other than just use our magic and manifest. Manifest, see it, feel it, believe it, know it. Just know it in our hearts. And trust. Trust. I think this was meant to happen a long time ago. I really feel this way. I was just talking to another healer on the phone this week. And we were talking, and she asked what I felt about the financial system, and I told her exactly what I feel, and I explained to her that I had a reading a couple years ago, turned into 5 readings. It's information I hadn't asked for. It just kind of got dropped onto my table, right? And then when I've looked into it on purpose, it's been saying it's inevitable. And sometimes the universe brings it in and talks about it even when I haven't asked. So I truly believe it. I just think that things have happened to shift. Things have happened and plans have changed and shifts have happened. But if everything had happened the way that it was meant or the way that they were planning on, this would have been in fruition, I believe, a couple of years ago. And I know waiting sucks, but I also think the longer we wait, maybe the more appreciative we'll be of this new system that is meant to do good. And I don't know. I'm not in control of all of this. And I don't have the ability to understand why any of these things are playing out the way that they are. All I can do is look into the cards and we get a story through the cards, and I can feel into it intuitively. And, I'm shown what I need to see and what you need to see when you're joining in, right? But who knows what the twists and what the turns are? I don't know. So I'm going to pull us a little fairy card and see what the fairies want to say to us regarding, I don't know, whatever they want to say to us to help us figure out a good place for us to focus or whatever right now. But do know that this is happening. They're just holding on to it right now strategically. It's just a strategy. What I don't like about any of this is like everything's a strategy, right? Meanwhile, we're living this. We're living in this world. And people say, grab your popcorn and, enjoy the show. I just think that's the most uncompassionate thing in the world to say. That's just me, but it's how I feel about it. Okay, so the fairies say abundance. Oh my gosh, you guys, you cannot make this up. Can't make this up. That's what we're reading about, right? Prepare yourself for income in abundance. Release any mental blocks that you may have. In fairyland and human land, there is enough abundance for everyone. Abundance. Abundance. So prepare yourself for it. It's coming, you guys. It is. It's coming. So let's all just project and prepare and release any blocks that we may have. And it's coming. It is coming. I know it's frustrating, and I know it's frustrating. Anyway, you guys, until next time, many, many blessings. Much, 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 much love. Stay in that positive place. Stay in that positive mindset. I know it's hard. I know it can be challenging to do that. I've been challenged myself this week to stay in a positive place. I have been feeling a little tired of this show, a little tired of it. So I'm really working to get back into my positive space as well. So many, many blessings, much, much love, tons of joy from me to all of you, and prepare yourself for abundance, you guys. Okay. All right. Until next time, be preparing for income and abundance. Love to you all. Take care.